Yo, I'm just over here. Um, why do white people always like to talk about the N word, especially when there's a black person in the room? Like, it's like the second time in 2 days. I was at a birthday party, and we're just playing Cards Against Humanity. And of course, there's the white people and black people card, but like, I'm just sitting there, minding my business and stuff. And somehow the N word always gets risen up. This one dude's talking about how his neighbor's racist, and they were like, "What are you?" And I'm like, he didn't say it, but like, why would you share that story? Like, do you have any awareness? There's only one black person in the whole room, which is me, in a room with a bunch of white males and like two white females, all about 18, 19 years old. I'm like, and like, I'm over here sitting there not saying anything because it's just like awkward. Like, the only black person. Like, why? Like, like, are you thinking at all? And then this one dude, funny looking dude, he was talking about is it worse if you say it with the A or with the ER? And I'm like, are you really asking? It's like, look at the room. There's only one black person. Like, you just like, do all white people or do a lot of white people just feel comfortable talking about the N word like that? Like, just don't say it. It's simple. I wasn't saying it, so why are you even talking about it? Personally, I don't really use the N word. I don't really cuss at all either. Sometimes, but like, I normally don't cuss, and I don't know why they just wanted to talk about the N word and stuff. And the girl's birthday party, the girl, she texted me. She asked me if I was okay. It's like the only person in the room that like actually had any awareness at all, which was cool and stuff. And how does it actually feel to be a black man in the room with a bunch of white people and they're talking about the N word? At least they didn't say it, but they were talking about it. And I'm like, you know how awkward it is? It's extremely awkward. And because you're sitting there, not, I wasn't trying to make eye contact with nobody because that's awkward. And I know everybody's looking at me too. Like, we had this one time in class, in music ed class, and they were playing like this name game, and you had to do like charades or something. And this one guy was describing something, and he said it's an N word, and the word was nutrition. He was trying to describe nutrition, so he said it's an N word. First of all, that's against the rule. You can't just say the word starts with the N. Plus, the wording, it's an N word. What? And I'm the only black person in this room of 30 white people. And everybody starts busting out laughing because he said N word. I'm like, and I was over there, what the? I was like, what the heck, bro? I'm the only black person. I know everybody's staring at me. And then they finally, everybody stopped laughing because of awkwardness or nervousness. And I just didn't change my face at all. And that part of the class ended. I was like, this is so whack. I'm literally the only person of color in this whole class. This is gonna be like this for the next 4 years because there's no other black music ed people at all in my year. And then at the end of class, everybody about to leave, and then the professor of music ed says some joke like, "Yeah, make sure you watch your N words" or something. I don't really remember what she said, but she said N words again. She didn't say the actual word, but N word, and everybody started laughing again. I was over here saying like, I don't want to be here. I don't want to be in this class. Like, it's really about to be like this. Like, why aren't people aware at all? Just saying N word. Like, basically when you say the N word, it's almost like saying the actual word. Because when somebody thinks of the N word, they automatically think of what the actual word is. And like this one guy in high school, he would come up to me. He's like, "Hey Dean, you know you're black. Like, what's the point of coming up to me and telling me I'm black? Like, I already know I'm black. Like, what the heck? And then he came up to me, and this other dude was like, inward, inward, inward. They didn't say it, but they just said inward, inward, inward. And I'm like, what's the like? You can't come up to me and say that and not be racist. Well, those guys were actually racist, and they actually said the N word, like actually, but they were smart enough not to be racist in public, and that's a quote that they told me, and they still talk to me like I was their friend. Like, what do you even do? You just fight these people or something? And at the party, yeah, the guy was like, which is worse, the N with the A or with the ER? And my friend, who's also the birthday girl, she was like, um, it's both already off the charts as really bad words, and tried to shut it down. Like, it's extremely awkward because everybody's looking at you. They want to see a reaction. I'm like fake smiling, then it's like face goes back to dead because I didn't want to be in the room anymore. I didn't really want to be at the party. I was like, why is it everybody always talking about race? And like, I'm not like the perfect angel. I talk about white people all the time, but like, white people were enslaved by black people. So, and yeah, whatever. And but it's not like I was I don't know, obnoxiously talking about that. And they're always bringing up race. Like, hey, you know you're black. Then they make a joke because, like, over in the elevator, and there's a rule only two people are allowed in the elevator. And they're like, oh, so you're a woman, so you're not a real person. And you're a virgin, so you're not a real person. And then there's me. Oh, you're only 3/5 of a person, so technically it's 2 and 3/5 people. I'm like, bro, why are you always making some slavery jokes? And this is why it's hard to have friends right now, because people do stuff like this and just think it's cool. Like, what's wrong with you? And a lot of people, I was talking about mascots, how my high school mascot was an Indian, and people are like, no, you shouldn't change it. That's stupid. It's already there. But like, nobody has any well, these white people don't have any empathy about it. Like, what if like your your history, the people in your history were slaughtered by colonizers and stuff, and they used it like, oh, we're thinking as Indians as something powerful and prideful, but like, if the Native Americans don't like Indians or Redskins as a mascot, I think you should respect that, because it's just mutual respect. You don't have like a football team or a school mascot being a blackface dude, and like, oh yeah, we're celebrating black people with blackface. Like, no, that is super uncomfortable for people. Nobody understands that. And it's just like, maybe they're just extremely uneducated, or maybe they just have been surrounded by white people their whole life, or they say they have one black friend and stuff. But it's awkward being black on a public white institution. Like, I've only seen a handful of black people at CCM. There might be like 15, and there's like 2,000 people in the school or something, and it's extremely scarce, and it's not always the best experience. And when COVID's over, I'm gonna be actively participating more in this my two scholarship groups, which is transitions, which is for black people, and then there's gonna be this other scholarship thing, which is for a variety of people of color, Indian, Asian, people from everywhere, basically. And I think that'll be a more safer environment. I won't feel super awkward because I'm the only person of color in the room, and I feel like can express myself more, and I don't have to worry about people always discussing the N word when they're white and they're just talking about it like this, people with no awareness and empathy. Like, come on, people just, it has to. I don't know what the how to solve this issue. Maybe just not hang out with those people anymore. But like it's I struggled the first semester making friends, and now I'm trying to make friends, but everybody is just turning me off, and I gotta figure out how to do something about it. But that's about it.